Hey guys, Zane from the Infinite Jukebox here with another quick album review, and today I wanted to talk about the new The National record, First Two Pages of Frankenstein. Unlike most 2000s hipster-loved, pitchfork-approved indie rock bands, The National managed to actually have an impressive degree of staying power after first making it big with larger audiences with 2005's Alligator, before following it up a couple years later with the indie classic that is Boxer. 2010's High Violet saw them take a step in the right direction for a new decade of music, and their last studio album, 2019's I Am Easy to Find, proved to the world that they were still relevant to critics and fans alike, with a reception that was pretty positive as a whole, all of this in the wake of the vast majority of their mid to late 2000s indie peers fading off into obscurity no matter how much critical acclaim they got. It is very easy to root for the National, considering their semi-underdog status that they've held on to for many years, practically since their debut at this point, but records like First Two Pages of Frankenstein really don't help their case at all. The entire record is just dreadfully boring. Even the more energetic moments feel lifeless. No matter what direction the National go in here, every single moment on First Two Pages of Frankenstein just feels like an extended, winded at that ballad that is just lifeless and harmless in every conceivable way. Frontman Matt Berninger may as well be the vocal equivalent of an afternoon nap, and the other four members of the five-piece practically don't exist, or at least they probably shouldn't. They really don't have any real impact on the entirety of First Two Pages of Frankenstein. They don't show off their instrumental chops as veterans of the indie scene, and they don't manage to make any particularly intriguing additions to the general sonic qualities of the record. This is basically just a vocalist and a backing band that may as well not exist. Even features from incredibly talented artists that arguably have more consistent discographies than the National, Sufjan Stevens, Phoebe Bridgers, even Taylor Swift, they aren't enough to really recover any sense of quality for this album, as their appearances feel completely pointless, as if the National just said, hey, we're a fairly critically acclaimed band, here's some other critically acclaimed musicians that kind of make music that's sort of similar to ours, kind of. It just feels like a forced addition to the record that makes First Two Pages of Frankenstein even more of an unnecessary album than it already is. The entirety of this record just meanders its way through a 45-minute long runtime with practically nothing interesting to say, and although the National are not necessarily strangers to periods of uninteresting releases, I would say that this album is possibly the personification of dull, lifeless indie landfill music. I mean, really, when someone refers to something as quote-unquote hipster music in a negative light, they usually aim it at a band like Arcade Fire, Bon Iver, Vampire Weekend, but none of those bands deserve it. They've released quality music in the past, even if they do have their lows. However, with the point that the National are at currently in their career, I think it applies to them pretty well based off of this record alone. I'm going to give this record 2.5 stars out of 5. And with that being said, that is the end of this quick album review. I've been Zane from the Infinite Jukebox. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.